And please give a warm welcome to Ben Fijal.
My name is Ben Fijal. I'm in ninth grade at the Green School, and I sell handkerchiefs. I sell handkerchiefs as a tool to both raise awareness about deforestation and to also support grassroots organizations that are doing something about our deforestation issue. So, this project came about when a group called the Borneo Nature Foundation, they had come to my school and they had screened this film called The Heart of Haze, and what it was showing was images of orangutans losing their habitat, forests being burnt, and people losing their clean air to breathe, and people dying due to the haze. And it hit us really hard, and it was incredible to think that something like this was happening so close to home, right above us. And we really wanted to do something about it, so right after we saw that film, we had gone straight to Kalimantan to see it all firsthand. So I went with my parents, that's my dad right there, and my mom, and some kids from my school, and some local kids from outside my school to Kalimantan to see everything firsthand, like what we saw in the film, besides the haze. And at the end of the trip, we were really amazed because we were able to see places where forests were burning a few months back. That's me with long hair, don't mind me. We were able to see native peatland forests stripped down to illegal sand mines. We were able to meet with young Dayak activists, Dayak activists that are doing something to raise awareness about their human rights. We were able to go to an eco-literacy program set by an riverside village by Kalimantan, and they're teaching children how to read and how to treasure their forests. We were able to see the beauty of Dayak culture, and most importantly, we were able to see orangutans in their natural habitat. And that's probably what got us inspired at first, because when you see an orangutan, there's no going back, because they're such close cousins of ours and they're so human-like. When you see one, it's just kind of like it's like that, you know? So when we came back, we really wanted to do something to help. And yeah, Earth's forests are disappearing, and it's incredible to think that in the past half century, you know, our forests have been half of our forests have been destroyed, and along with that, half of our orangutan population has disappeared, and at that same time, our human population has more than doubled. So that's insane, and there's getting to be so much of us, and we're becoming so greedy, and we're becoming so consumptious, and people need to know that has a direct impact on the environment, and we think that people need to know about this everywhere, and everyone needs to know about it. So when we got back from that trip, that's my mom told me, why not make handkerchiefs? Because my dad had this handkerchief and he kept it in his pocket for 20 years, super nerdy, and she thought it would be cool to make the same kind of things because, you know, hipsters in Bali would dig it, yogis would like it, kind of cool thing. And she thought it would be a cool thing to make the same kind of concept with a map, but of a map of tourist destinations of Bali. And so we did. And initially, our concept was to present an alternative to using paper tissues to dry your hands in the bathrooms at my school. Because my dad's pet peeve was so many kids just going into my school's bathrooms and just like using so many paper tissues, and at the end of the day there'd be a mountain of tissues in the trash, and it was so wasteful, and it was kind of like against our cause. So that was our initial concept, but it didn't completely work. So we just kept on going, and we kept growing this social enterprise, and we realized that it's really about two things, or two reasons. So our first reason is to raise awareness. We want to raise international awareness about deforestation in Indonesia. So, as we saw, orangutans are losing their habitats rapidly, and humans are losing their clean air to breathe. And it's not just Kalimantan's problem, and it's not just Indonesia's problem. These fires are so big, and the destruction of these carbon sinks are so huge that it's starting to become the whole world's problem, and people need to know about this everywhere. So our second reason is to raise money. We want to raise money for grassroots organizations on the ground in places like Kalimantan and Sumatra that are best positioned to stop fires and stop the deforestation issue where they are. So currently, we're supporting four organizations, 3 in Kalimantan, 1 in Sumatra. Our first one's called Ranuwalam. That is Shinta. She is a young, brave Dayak activist. Dayak is a tribe in Kalimantan, just if you guys were confused. She's a young Dayak activist, and that's a shot from the film that we had watched called The Heart of Haze. And she was in front of the governor's office in Palangkaraya protesting because they were losing their clean air to breathe, and it was really inspiring. And basically what she does is they have an organization called Ranuwalam, and what they do is they raise awareness about the real reason behind the fires, and they're bringing relief through medical supplies and food and masks to people in villages where they don't really have access to them, and they're suffering most from the haze. Our second organization is called Ransal Buku. That's me and my brother. This is the library. That's my teacher. He used to teach me at my old school, and then he went to Kalimantan to start this. And what Ransal Buku is it's a eco-literacy program set by a riverside village in Kalimantan, and it's really beautiful. And what they're doing is they're teaching these kids who barely got access to school how to read and how to learn how to treasure their peatland forests, which are being destroyed slowly, and how to connect with their Dayak roots, which is really important because the Dayak culture is very closely tied to our forests. So the more we keep this culture alive, the more we keep the forests alive. So it's all connected. Our third organization is called the Borneo Nature Foundation. They were the ones who had come to my school and screened the film and all that. And basically they're a group of researchers and conservationists in the peatland forest of Sabangao in Kalimantan, and they're working on the conservation of the peatland forest there, the last remaining on Earth, and they're doing long-term research on the primates and the animals that are living there. So we have a campaign called Give a Damn, corny, but it's cool. So basically with money that we donate to them, we go and donate a dam, and they make this dam, and it rehydrates a vast amount of peatland forests in that region. And instead of just planting trees in the first place, we just keep the original trees alive and prevent it from burning in the first place. So that's one of our dams. Doesn't look like much here, but it's really cool. And these are the canals where those are illegal canals where logs are coming through. They used to be where people would put logs down the river from cutting down trees. So yeah, that's what we're doing with them. And lastly, HAKA Sumatra. I don't know if you guys have seen the film that Leonardo DiCaprio made. It's called Before the Flood. It's one of those help the world movies. And basically, HAKA was featured in that movie, and that's how we first got to know about them. And what they're doing is they're conserving the looser ecosystem, and that's the last place on Earth where orangutans and elephants and tigers and rhinos are coexisting at once at the same time. So I think that's really cool, and I want to keep that alive. And with money that we donate to them, they go into these illegal palm oil plantations, and they cut it down 1 hectare, I presume, and the native forest, they don't even need to plant seeds. The native forest just grow back itself. And you can see on the side, in a period of like 4 years, it just grew so high, and it allows, it opens up corridors for these animals to walk by. So we think that's really amazing, and that's what we're supporting with them. And also, I forgot to mention, with all the profits that we sell from these handkerchiefs, they go to all 4 organizations that I just mentioned. So, when we first started selling these handkerchiefs, we didn't really know where to sell them, and we decided that we'd first sell them at a event at Green School called the Sustainable Solutions. And we did, and we sold a bunch of them. We sold out, and people in Green School were using them in crazy different ways. People were using them as helmets, although I wouldn't advise it. It's not very safe. Kitchen staff bought 40, and they used them as hairnets to be more hygienic. My teacher was trying to be cool with them. My dad and the Green School founder don't really know what to do with them. But they do look great on Dayak activists. So, that's our designer, Pakaris. He's been with us since the beginning, and he's the one who makes the designs on the side and the maps and all that. And yeah, this was a little concept that we had come up with to, market them and to share our ideas. Sorry. That is Pakwirata. He's a close friend of my father's. He plays gamelan with him, and he also happens to own Free Coffee in Ubud and a print shop. So he's the one who gets our handkerchiefs printed, and it comes out really beautiful, and he's a really nice guy. And we also have maps on them. So that's the design that we kind of have on them. This one is one of Batu Belong. And, oh yeah, that one's the one of Batu Belong. And we have local businesses listed down on them, the small bullet points. And we go up to these businesses and we ask for a donation for them to sponsor us, and then they become a sponsor, and it's a win-win for both of us because they get their name on us and we get a sponsor, and it's all great. So that's one of our ways of generating a constant source of revenue. Sorry. So as we were first getting these sponsorship things going, we were doing pretty well, and we went to John Hardy, who founded my school and who owns a hotel in Ubud. We went to him because we thought, why not just knock one off the list and just go up to him and just say, hey, do you want to sponsor us for this small amount of money? And, it'll all be good. And we went on one of his meetings, which is like a trash walk. And instead of him giving us a donation, he gave us golden advice, which was priceless. And he said, look, kid, everyone has a cause, but what's the point in doing good when you're doing bad at the same harm at the same time? So that got us set on a path to make a no-harm handkerchief. So right after that meeting, we got researching, and we immediately realized that the garment industry was the second most pollutant in the world, if you guys knew that. And we quickly switched to organic cotton. But that wasn't good enough for us because organic cotton was being shipped from far, far away places, and it was still requiring a lot of water. And that's when a Green School parent came up to us and she said, why not upcycle? And so we did. So not only can hotels come up to us and sponsor us, but they can also donate their used bed sheets. And we take these bed sheets and we give them a new life as a tree handkerchief. And they don't look like used bed sheets, and they look a lot better as handkerchiefs. So now all of our handkerchiefs are 100% upcycled. So we've done a lot since June, since we first started. These are the stats going on right here. We sold over 3,500 handkerchiefs since June. Sorry, I have a bad cough. We have over 70 paid sponsors. We have 9 designs developed. We have our upcycle concept established. We have over 80 million donated to our for organizations, and we're a registered PT. And we've also built a team. And I failed to mention that it's not only me doing this. My dad's doing a lot of it too, and we're really like a family team plus 7 other people, and we're all in it together. And it's not only me, and I'm kind of the one who does most of the presenting. My dad's kind of shy, and he likes to do more of the hard labor that a young one like me wouldn't want to do. And yeah, so we have a team. We're a good group of people, and we have a lot of fun. And yeah. So, maybe you guys recognize this young, small little being. It's the Lorax from, do you guys know the Lorax from Dr. Seuss, the movie? Basically, he said, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So, that brings up a very solid point. If we don't do something, nothing's going to get better. And we can't do it alone. Team Tree can't do it alone. So, we need your help to help Indonesia's forests as well. And one way is to love trees or learn about forests, because the more that you find out, what's threatening them and really connect with them, the more people love trees, the less trees will get cut down. Logic. And another way is to be a conscious be a conscious consumer. Know that so much of what we eat, so much of what we buy has a direct impact on Indonesia's forests. And sometimes I walk into a Circle K and I want this really tasty treat, but once I know that it has a direct impact on the life of an orangutan or a tiger or a rhino, it seems a lot less appealing. So kind of think before you buy, right? Third, you can become a tree partner. If you guys own any local businesses, or if you know any friends that own any local businesses, come to us, because we got plenty of ways to draw positive attention to your business and we have plenty of ways to cross-promote and help you, and you guys help us. So it's all good. Everyone wins. Fourth, you can buy and use tree handkerchiefs. I'm not quite the salesman, but I can say that they are nice to use. I never was a handkerchief guy. I thought they were super lame, right? Because if my dad had one, it's got to be lame. But when I put one in my pocket and I bring it to school or I bring it to a restaurant, you kind of find that there is a way for you to use it. I use it to wipe something off the table or wipe something off my mouth, and I use a lot less tissues, and that's good for me. So everyone has a different way of using it, and you'll be surprised how this will come in handy for you. And last of all, just a small contribution, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook and check out our website and just tell people about it, because the more people know, the more our forest will get saved. And just show your support, comment, leave a like, leave a follow, do that kind of stuff. That would mean the world to us. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.